Hi there, Sandra Parker here. Today I want to talk about alcohol and anxiety. So, if you are anything like me, maybe one of the reasons why you drink is for anxiety. I know that I used to use alcohol for so many different types of anxiety when I was worried about my job, if I was worried about my health, if I was worried about my social life, my relationship, money, you name it. I learned really quickly that when I had a drink, it made me less aware of the anxious feelings that I had. And so in my brain, it quickly became a pattern where whenever I was anxious, the thought of alcohol came in. Here's what I want to share with you. That might seem like it works, right? It might seem like a good idea. It's like, okay, if I feel anxious, then if I have a drink, it will take the edge off, right? Have you ever had a difficult day at work and someone said to you, oh, you need a glass of wine tonight, right? Or if there's something that you're worried about, say, oh, let's go and have a glass of wine, right? We do that because we don't want to experience the emotion. But here's the problem with doing that. There's this little known thing that happens when we drink alcohol, which is in our group, we call it, when I coach clients, we call it the 20-minute high. And what it basically means is you get relief for a very short space of time. So you get that fuzzy headed feeling. So let's say you're feeling incredibly anxious, you have a drink and you feel a bit fuzzy headed, and the anxiety subsides and it feels really good, right? But here's the kicker, that is only short term, right? And that you might think, well, that's okay, it's short term, right? But here's the real kicker. When it goes, you end up feeling worse. So let's say you're really worried about work. Let's say that you've got like a big presentation or you've got a meeting with your boss the next day that you're worried about, or your team, maybe you're in charge of everyone, you're having to like give somebody difficult news, right? Whatever it is, and you think, right, I'll have some wine and that'll help me forget. Right, you have the first glass, you get that fuzzy feeling. Then what happens is your brain seeks to keep you steady and it recognizes alcohol as like a false pleasure. So what it does is it releases chemicals to bring you back down. But at the same time, the alcohol starts leaving your system. And here's the horrible part. You end up feeling worse for about 2 hours afterwards. So you're getting 20 minutes of relief for 2 hours of feeling worse. And that's not all. Sometimes you don't even get that relief, right? Why do we have things like an angry drunk or a weepy drunk or a sad drunk? It's because sometimes when we drink alcohol, we get really fixated on the thing that we're trying to avoid. So sometimes it doesn't even work, but let's just say it does work. Once it wears off, you feel uneasy, and guess what happens then? You want to have another drink. I used to think that was me. I thought that was my low mood coming back, and I didn't realize it was actually the alcohol that was causing it in the first place. So you feel low and you have more alcohol. Now, all you're doing is you're kicking the can down the road, the can being that low feeling. And so you'll either wake up during the night or the next morning, and the thing that you were anxious about hasn't gone away, but it's harder to deal with. So not only is it not gone away, but you're feeling worse. So you're most likely experiencing a low mood. You're probably experiencing a bit of brain fog. You're probably doubting yourself. You don't feel like you can make decisions. And all of that makes the problem worse. So, what's the solution? Well, when you feel anxious, you need to remind yourself that it will be a completely automatic habit to have alcohol. But if you can remember that it's going to make it worse, it can be the first step to doing something different.